Julian prepared for our 1-year anniversary with great fanfare, planning to propose to me that day. On the day of the anniversary, he arrived late and, in front of everyone, showed off his marriage certificate with his childhood friend. Sorry, I took a detour to get a marriage license. My childhood friend has depression, and she would have made a scene if I hadn't agreed. Then he took out a ring, knelt, and proposed to me. Elara, will you marry me? He offered no explanation, just proposed as if nothing had happened. I found it all utterly meaningless and booked a flight out of the country. Julian, who had always expected me to be the first to back down, finally messaged me after I had been gone for a year. Elara, you win. What are you up to? His arch-nemesis snatched my phone and sent him a picture of our family of 3, in postpartum confinement. I heard that day, the crown prince of the capital's most prominent family, in a fit of rage, smashed everything he could get his hands on. Amidst the cheers of the crowd, I did not extend my hand for Julian to put the ring on my finger. An uproar ensued. What's going on? Elara chased after Julian for 7 years, and he finally agreed to be with her. Now he's proposing, and she's not willing. She's so ungrateful. If she doesn't want him, I'll take him. I've been waiting to marry into a rich family. Are you all blind? Didn't you see that Julian is already married to Chloe? If she agrees now, she'll be the other woman. Julian awkwardly rubbed his nose and stood up. Elara, Chloe's parents entrusted her to me before they passed away, and she has depression. She saw that I was about to propose to you, and she was envious. She said she hoped a man would propose to her one day, so I got the license with her to make her happy. Don't worry, when we get engaged, I'll divorce her. The crowd breathed a collective sigh of relief. He's explained everything. Why is Elara still so unmoved? Does she expect the high and mighty Julian to kneel and beg her? Has she forgotten how she shamelessly chased after him? Elara, just say yes, don't spoil the mood. I looked at the group of people cheering them on. They were all Julian's friends. In all my time with him, I felt I had never been respected. Desperate, a doormat, that was my image in their eyes. Even after he married Chloe, the fact that he was still willing to propose to me was considered the greatest of honors. Watching the boisterous scene, I felt like an outsider, completely detached. It was all so meaningless. Under everyone's expectant gazes, I did not accept his proposal. Julian, let's break up. I turned and left the banquet hall. A light drizzle was falling outside. The cold wind sobered me up. I took out my phone and called my family, who were living abroad. Mom, I miss you. I want to come home. My mother, being my mother, started crying on the other end. Ellie, did that boy Julian hurt you? If you want to come back, just come back. I'll have your father pick you up. Okay. Her tears made me cry too. When my whole family moved abroad, I had stayed behind for him. I had told him, my family is moving abroad. I might have to go to university there too. He had been completely unfazed. Then go. At least you won't be bothering me every day. Just as I was about to give up and leave, he had asked me to meet him on the school rooftop. It was the first time he had ever held me. His voice was a little hoarse. Are you really leaving? Can you bear to? My heart had softened. It was the first year I had been chasing him, and I saw a glimmer of hope. And so, I was separated from my parents for 8 years. 8 years later, I regretted it deeply. I wiped my tears and smiled at my mother. Mom, you don't have to pick me up. I've already bought a ticket. I'll be there tomorrow. My mother asked, what about Julian? Are you staying for a few days? Or, Mom, we broke up. My father cheered in the background. Good riddance. Ellie, you come be with us. We'll find you someone better. Our Ellie deserves a better man. Julian was charismatic and handsome, the best-looking guy in school. When he had appeared out of nowhere to save me from a group of bullies, I had fallen for him completely. My life from 17 to 25 was all spent on him. I had no regrets. It was time to find my own life. After the sharp pang in my heart subsided, I had to go back and get the matching bracelet I had given him. I had made it myself, my hands covered in blisters. Now I wanted it back. When I re-entered the hall, the proposal party, which was supposed to be mine, was still in full swing. The guests were laughing and talking, and I had become the topic of their amusement. Julian was drinking with his friends. He said, actually, Elara used to be so well-behaved, never got angry with me, so gentle. Today was the first time she's been so willful. He raised his glass and looked at the leaves rustling in the wind outside. He smiled softly. You don't know, when she was chasing me, she would give me anything I wanted. When she heard me say something outrageous, she would blush so beautifully. The first time, she was in so much pain, crying and saying she didn't want to anymore. I just asked her if she still loved me, and she endured the pain and let me have my way all night. If she was so well behaved, why did you agree to be with her? There are so many more interesting girls out there. You've been with her for 8 years. You must have gotten tired of her. Exactly. You like Chloe so much. You even married her. Why not just make it real? Chloe, who was beside him, laughed. Oh, please, I just see him as a brother, and he just spoils me like a little sister. Julian put his arm around her shoulder and pulled her into his embrace, teasing. I'm not the type to just use and discard someone. I admit, I like to have fun. In the years Alara was chasing me, Chloe found me many other girls. I see Chloe as a sister, and also as a brother. As for getting married, it was just a bit of fun. Alara is more obedient than anyone, perfect for marriage. When I'm out playing, Chloe covers for me. I've slept with so many women, and Alara has no idea. She's so naive. Tears blurred my vision. Every word from Julian was like a bullet piercing my heart. My trust and tolerance, in his eyes, were just obedience, foolishness. My first time, which I thought was a painful yet beautiful experience, was just a joke to him. The 8 years I had invested had earned me nothing but his humiliation. I left quietly, without going back in to be further humiliated. I had to leave tomorrow, so I had to go back and pack. As for the bracelet, I would get it from him when he got home. Back at the apartment, I took out my suitcase and started packing. I didn't have much to take. I wasn't planning on keeping most of it. The watch he had given me last year, after he agreed to be with me, I had been so happy when I received it. Later, Chloe had said, Alara, you really treasure this watch, don't you? I picked it out for you. Julian is so thoughtless. If I hadn't reminded him, he would have forgotten to get you a gift. If he ever upsets you, just come and tell me. I can teach him a lesson for you. After that, I never received another gift from him. For every one of Chloe's birthdays, he would throw a lavish celebration. He seemed to care for her a great deal. I had thought he would take our 1-year anniversary seriously. In the end, all I got was the news of his marriage to her. After 8 years of not being valued, I don't know what I was expecting. I threw the watch in the trash. It wasn't worth keeping. For 8 years, I had given him 8 birthday presents, and many other small gifts for other holidays. He had kept them all, but in the most inconspicuous place, in a dusty storage room. These things, whether bought or handmade, he did not cherish. Now, as I took back my heart, I would take back all those tokens of my affection as well. I put everything in a plastic bag and threw it in the dumpster downstairs. Julian was brought home by Chloe, drunk. When she saw me, she said politely, Alara, I brought him back for you. I've already scolded him on the way. I was just making a casual comment, envious of you two finally being together. He was afraid my depression would get worse, so he insisted on getting married to make me happy. You two are getting married, after all. Julian and I are just childhood friends. I can't compare to you. She handed him to me. I couldn't be bothered to support him, so he fell to the floor, the fall sobering him up a little. Chloe knelt and patted his face. Julian, I'm going home now. Be good and listen to Alara. Okay. Julian grabbed her hand. Don't go. Stay here tonight. I want to see if a certain someone will turn the house upside down. He was clearly talking to me. The more I disliked something, the more he would do it. She saw the suitcase next to me and frowned slightly. Where are you going? I said flatly. We broke up. Of course, I'm moving out. And by the way, give me back the bracelet I made for you. His face was cold. He took off the bracelet and threw it at my feet. It's not like it's worth anything. Who wants it? A sharp pang went through my heart. I looked at his indifferent face. His heart, perhaps, could never be warmed. When I was learning to make it, my hands were covered in blisters. It took me a whole 2 weeks. On his 19th birthday, I ran up to him excitedly, holding it out carefully. Julian, happy birthday. Although he looked disdainful, he still put it on and never took it off. I was so happy then. I brushed my hair back, accidentally revealing the matching bracelet on my own wrist. He grabbed my hand. I see your little trick. My heart pounded, and my face turned red. I stammered, If you don't like it, I'll throw it away. I won't wear a matching one. I'm sorry. He lowered his head and pulled me closer. We were pressed tightly together. It was the second time we had been so intimate. After the time he had held me before I was supposed to move, he whispered in my ear, if you want to wear it, then wear it. Maybe then everyone will think I'm your boyfriend. His voice was so pleasant, clear and bright. I savored the word boyfriend, my heart about to burst. I felt something pressing against me. His breath grew hotter. He said, just a bracelet isn't a good enough birthday present. I looked down, not daring to meet his eyes. Then, what else do you want? My chin was warm. He lifted my face. and I looked into his equally flushed face. Julian, you, Elara, I want you. Our first time was in his car. We had no protection. He called Chloe to bring some. She had said something meaningful then. Bringing them again. I was too shy and flustered to think about it. Now, after hearing his jokes with his friends tonight, I knew, while he was keeping me on the hook, he was still playing the field. For 8 years. It had never stopped. My stomach churned, and a wave of nausea washed over me. I picked up the bracelet he had thrown on the floor, and the one on my own wrist, and threw them both in the trash. Chloe picked them up with a pained expression and placed them on the table. Why are you doing this, Elara? Julian already told you. He was just worried about me, his little sister, and my condition, so he got married to me. When you two get married, he'll divorce me. How about this? It's only 1 in the afternoon. Julian and I can go to the city hall and get a divorce right now. Okay. Julian was impatient. Elara, do you have to be so unreasonable? Can't you be more like Chloe? She's 2 years younger than you and she knows how to be reasonable. I think I've just spoiled you too much. I'm not divorcing Chloe. Your temper needs to be tamed. Ha, who was spoiling whom? For all these years, I was the one who had been accommodating him. After we slept together, he took me to his parents' house for a holiday, and I also met Chloe's parents. He and Chloe were neighbors. Having grown up together, we were also at the same school, but Chloe's friends were also there, and they didn't like me. At dinner, her friends would always exclude me and ask him, Julian, is she your girlfriend? This is the first time you brought a girl home. I naively thought that our relationship had deepened because of what had happened. He shook his head, just a friend. Hearing this, Chloe's friends became even more brazen. A friend? I thought she was your girlfriend. Elara has been chasing you for a long time. Right. She looked at me. A girl should have some self-respect. Being so forward is not very becoming. I'm not the type to get into arguments. Whenever I wanted to fight with someone, I would just start crying. I threw the water from my glass in front of that person, and some of it splashed on Chloe. What's it to you what's going on between me and Julian? Chloe, who had been silent, spoke up. Can't you just keep your mouth shut? She is, after all, my brother's friend. It's only a girlfriend when that kind of thing happens. I was so angry then that I didn't notice the sting in her words. Seeing my outburst, his face immediately turned cold. This is the first time I brought someone home to meet my parents and friends. I'm giving you so much face, and you have to ruin it. After I ran off crying, he didn't even try to find me at school. We were at a stalemate for a month. Seeing him laughing and talking with other girls, I was the one who went to him and asked to make up. Only then did he slowly explain why he had denied our relationship. He said, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. If you mind, we can just. I don't mind. I'm willing to wait. I don't know what kind of spell he had cast on me. I was just so hopelessly in love with him. Perhaps it was because he had saved me from those bullies in high school that I had fallen so deeply. He was a top student, always helping others. In my eyes, he was perfect. I wasn't a good student, but I did everything I could to catch up to him. And thankfully, I got into the same university. It's only today that I'm willing to accept that he and Chloe really were not just friends. In our sophomore year, my best friend saw them going into a hotel together. She waited for 3 hours, and they never came out. I asked him, and he just swore that they didn't do anything, that he just saw her as a sister, and I believed him again. If I could go back in time, I would definitely slap my foolish past self. I watched him pick up the pair of bracelets from the table and throw them in the trash again. I sneered. My temper is what it is. Julian, don't you know how long I've waited to be with you? Marriage is the most important thing to me, and now you've married Chloe. You're treating marriage like a game. He was sober now, and he leaned back on the sofa, crossing his legs, his expression mocking. If you value marriage so much, why did you sleep with me before we were even official, and let me sleep with you for 8 years? Elara, are you trying to build a monument to your own chastity now? My mind flashed back through the 8 years, a distorted mess. I said coldly, let's just leave it at that. Julian, let's part on good terms. I dragged my suitcase to the door, about to open it. He rushed over from behind and held the door shut. You have a real temper. I'll let it slide this time. After all, I didn't tell you beforehand. I sneered. Julian, are you backing down? But I don't accept it. I had had a fight with him once before, when I was chasing him. I can't remember what it was about. All I remember is that it was the first time he had ever backed down to me. I wasn't arrogant. I took the olive branch, because I knew his personality. He had been a golden child his whole life. No one ever gave him a hard time, and no one dared to make him back down. If I didn't give him face, he would get angry. And in the end, I would be the one begging him, just like now. I had refused his offer of peace. He immediately became impatient. He looked at me and laughed twice. He thoughtfully opened the door for me and made a please gesture. Then please go outside and cool down. When you know you're wrong, you can come back. If you walk out this door today, when you come back begging me, I might not forgive you. Julian was the golden child. He was confident, and he knew I couldn't live without him. In all these years, he had rarely messaged me first. I would always complain that he wasn't romantic, but he didn't care, because he knew, every time I was unhappy, I would eventually get over it and come back to him. Not this time. Once I walked out this door, I would never look back. When I stepped outside, the sun was shining brightly, the rain had cleared. I checked my luggage into a hotel and went for a physical. When the results came back, I was finally able to relax completely. Thank goodness, I was fine. Then I went to the mountain temple where Julian and I used to go. Our prayer tablet was still there. The abbot saw I was alone and asked, I remember Mr. Sterling used to always come with you. Last year, after he had agreed to be with me, I would drag him here every month or two to pray for our relationship. I was afraid that after all these years of waiting, it would end badly. I had come 7 times last year. He knew what I was afraid of, so he would always comfort me and play along. Elara, we will never be apart. Never. His never had only lasted a year. How fast. The abbot led me to our prayer tree. There were 7 red tablets on it, tied with red string, but the tree was showing signs of withering. The abbot said, it's strange, Mr. Sterling said this tree should be carefully tended to, but after a year, it still has no life. Hearing this from the abbot, my heart ached. This tree was like my relationship with him irretrievable. The 7 red tablets, with our names on them, I took them down myself. I burned them in the incense burner, and with them, those 8 years turned to ash. Back at the hotel, I took a shower. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, doing nothing. Chloe sent me a message. Elara, are you coming back? No. I hope you mean it. Don't come crawling back to him. He's been with you for 8 years. He's long since gotten tired of you. That's why he married me. You're just a free ride. She had always been aggressive. Her hostility towards me not insignificant. She just didn't show it in front of others. And the provocative things she said, only I could understand. Very clever. I asked the question that had been bothering me for a long time. Why are you so willing to find other women for him? If you like him, why are you willing to share him? If I cater to his tastes, he'll value me. We grew up together. I know him. He's been dating since elementary school. By high school, he always had girls around him. Even after he met you, it never stopped. He likes novelty, to be honest, even though he had many girls. After he met you, it was all in secret. You were the one who stayed with him the longest, so I hate you the most. So the fact that he had a constant stream of women, but still let me be with him for 8 years, was a gift. How ironic. Chloe said, Elara, you're too possessive, not tolerant enough. Julian doesn't like to be tied down, and when you became his girlfriend, you wanted to control him. You were wrong. If you had my mindset, maybe you wouldn't have been kicked out. You want too much. A piece of trash he slept with for 8 years. Why would he keep it? I blocked her and threw my phone aside. I stared at the ceiling, my eyes vacant, and let my tears soak the pillow. I really don't know how I managed to get through all those years in that kind of environment. My illusion of him was shattered. I felt so foolish. After 8 years of devotion, it all ended like a dream. It was impossible not to be sad. Fortunately, I had cut my losses in time. To be with someone like that for a lifetime would have been miserable. I let myself cry, and finally fell asleep, not waking up until the next afternoon. There were 2 hours until my flight. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were red and swollen. A complete mess. I allowed myself a moment of sadness. A final farewell to all those years of waiting. After the sadness, there would be no more self-pity. I used an ice pack to reduce the swelling, put on some makeup, and went to the airport. Before boarding, Chloe posted on her social media. She showed off her and Julian's marriage certificate, the giant diamond ring on her finger, and a picture of their intertwined hands. I refreshed the page, and then saw Julian's post, the same picture. The caption read, "Thank you for all these years of companionship. We've finally made it." The comments section exploded. What's going on? Julian, didn't you say you saw Chloe as a sister? So you married your sister yesterday, gave her a ring today, and now you're making it official. Oh my God, Julian, you actually posted on social media. It seems your true love is Chloe. I've always shipped you two. Chloe is so understanding. And Alara dared to reject your proposal in public. She must be regretting it so much now. 100 years of happiness. May you have a child soon. And please post more in the future. Julian and I never had a photo together, and he had never posted anything about me on his social media. This was the first time I had ever seen him post, to announce his relationship with Chloe. Perhaps she was the one he had always wanted to marry. The proposal was just to humiliate me, to make me back down. It didn't matter anymore. Even if he and Chloe posted a video of themselves fighting in public, I wouldn't care. It was a bad relationship from the start. This was the end. I turned off my phone and boarded the plane. This land, in my eyes, grew smaller and smaller. This relationship was just a drop in the ocean. Insignificant. The plane landed. It was 9 in the morning. I turned on my phone. A message from my mom. Ellie, it's busy at the office today. Your father and I will finish up early and come home for lunch with you. So I asked Mason to pick you up. Do you remember what he looks like? Mason and I were neighbors, and we had grown up together. His family had moved abroad with mine. He had asked me to go with them. At the time, I had stayed behind for Julian. During summer break, he flew all the way from abroad to see me. I thought it was just childhood friendship, that he was visiting on behalf of his parents. I never expected him to ask me to go with him. He said he had seen Julian with other women. At the time, I had given him a cold shoulder and explained, "That's just Julian's sister. Please don't slander the person I like. I will trust him unconditionally. Don't come looking for me again. You can go." I hadn't looked at him. When I finally did, all I saw was his dejected back as he walked away. I could have been so judgmental because he and Julian had fought at school, and they were always at odds. Now I really wanted to slap myself. He was coming to pick me up. How was I supposed to face him? Mason sent me a message. "I'm at the exit, holding a blue sign with your name on it. Don't get the wrong person." Our last chat was 8 years ago. That day, we had parted on bad terms. After he left, he sent me another message. "Ellie, you have to be happy. Your parents said so." At the exit, even if he wasn't holding a sign with my name, I would have recognized him. He stood out in the crowd. He was dressed casually, which made him look tall and broad, with a relaxed air. When he stood up, he was a head taller than everyone else. He must be almost 63. The moment our eyes met, I lowered my head and hid in the crowd. He probably wouldn't recognize me after all these years. I was too ashamed to face him. I could just take a taxi home. I hid behind a tall man and followed the crowd. Suddenly, a large hand grabbed me by the neck. "Got you." Mason's pleasant scent surrounded me. I covered my face, not daring to look at him. He bent down and pulled my hands away. His handsome face was close. "Are you still mad at me?" "No." He took my suitcase and my bag and slung it over his shoulder. "Let's go home. Your parents are waiting." I walked beside him, sneaking glances at him. He was dressed casually, but he seemed a bit tense. He didn't say much to me. We didn't speak the whole way, but when we got in the car, he buckled my seatbelt for me. "Mason, about last time. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you." He was focused on driving. I thought I saw a glint of ice in his eyes melt when I said that. He asked, "Ellie, you're not leaving again, are you?" "No, I'm staying here with my parents." Only then did I sense him relax. "That's good. Our two families have had a lot of collaborations over the years, and the businesses are getting bigger. Now that you're here, you can help out at the company, or just relax at home. I'll take you out when I have time." He hadn't changed. He was still as talkative as ever. The car stopped at my house. He walked in as if it were his own. After putting my luggage away, he put on an apron. "Your parents might be back late. You can watch some TV in the living room. I'll make us dinner." My parents came home a little after 12. Mason had already made a full table of food, all my favorites. When I first got home, he was afraid I was hungry and had made me a bowl of noodles before he started cooking dinner. Mason's parents came back with mine. They were all very affectionate towards me. It was a warmth I hadn't felt in a long time. At the dinner table, my mom asked, "Ellie, is Mason's cooking good?" He had put all my favorite dishes in front of me. I nodded. "Delicious." His mom smiled and served me some food. Back in high school, he would come home and tell me he wanted to eat something, and then he'd make me teach him how to cook it. Now, thanks to you, he's become our family chef. Before I met Julian, Mason and I were inseparable. We told each other everything. We went to a restaurant together once and had a dish that was particularly good. The next time we went, it didn't taste the same, and I had mentioned it to him. Later, he invited me over for dinner. He had cooked it himself. Now I knew, he had asked his mother to teach him. For me, when I was with Julian, whatever he wanted to eat, I would spend a long time studying the recipe to get it just right. I never thought someone would learn to cook a whole table of dishes for me. In the afternoon, both our families cleared their schedules to spend time with me. It wasn't until I was in bed that night that I opened my phone and saw the second message. It was from Julian. Our last message was from a month ago, when I had asked him when he was coming home. He rarely replied. We saw each other every day, so he said there was no need. I deleted that conversation. Only Mason's remained. I clicked on his profile picture. It was still the version of me he had drawn when we were kids. It hadn't changed in all these years. I clicked on his feed and saw he had updated it. After 8 years of no posts, he had posted 8 times today. 9 in the morning. Happy, hee 12 noon. Learned a new skill. Just for today. The picture was of a large table of food. He had also posted pictures of the places we had visited together. Just now. Can't sleep. No matter how many years have passed, my heart still flutters. I'm so pathetic. I scratched my head. Strange. It feels like he's talking about me. Am I being too narcissistic? Before I went to sleep, he sent me a message. Ellie, good night. When I got home that night, my parents told me they wanted me to marry Mason. They said he had no objections. I didn't give them an answer then, but now I had thought it through. A marriage alliance concerns the family. I had defied my parents for Julian for half my life. Now it was time to do something for them. It didn't matter who I married. The outcome would be the same. Mason and I were childhood friends. We knew each other well. At least for now. He was good to me, even if he changed his mind later. Our interests were tied together. As long as my family's business could prosper, that was enough. I never expected things to move so quickly. From my agreement to the proposal, engagement, and wedding, it only took half a month. It was rushed, but the wedding was luxurious and grand, not at all perfunctory. The night of the wedding, Mason posted all the pictures we had taken on his social media. Julian commented below, "So that's why you've been posting so much lately." A peacock spreading its feathers for its wedding. Mason posted again. A picture of us, hands intertwined. Julian commented again. Mason, why does your new bride look exactly like Alara? Mason replied, yes, Alara, my wife. And he posted a picture of our marriage certificate. My phone started buzzing nonstop. Stop acting. If you're going to hire an actress, at least get a decent one. Everyone knows you hate him. I know I haven't contacted you lately, but you don't have to hire the person you hate the most to act with you. Did you see me post my marriage certificate with Chloe and you wanted to get back at me? If you had chosen anyone else, I would have thought it was real. But you chose Mason. I know you're trying to get my attention, but if you don't apologize to me, I won't forgive you, and I won't propose to you again. Insane. This was probably the most messages he had ever sent me in his life. In the past, when he had mentioned Mason, I, still remembering how he had slandered him, had said, don't talk about him. I hate him. And now, the man I had misunderstood had given me a grand wedding. He would show off to everyone on his social media that I was his wife. The sense of security Julian had never given me, Mason had given me in just half a month. I didn't reply to Julian. He then messaged Mason. Mason, your acting is terrible. Just wait. It won't be long before Alara comes back to me, begging me to take her back. Mason replied, are you out of your mind? After cursing at him, Mason blocked him and threw his phone aside. He leaned in and whispered, Ellie, wife. That night, my experience with him was unprecedented. It turns out my feelings could also be considered. He would be gentle, would take things slow. No matter how eager he was, he would always ask how I felt. After I married Mason, Julian started posting on his social media several times a day, all pictures of him and Chloe, like a jumping clown. After work, Mason said he had cooked dinner for me at home and was waiting for me to come back. Not far from home, I was dragged into an alley, a hand clamped over my mouth. This scene overlapped with the one from high school. In a state of extreme panic, I cried out Julian's name. Unfortunately, this time, he would not appear out of nowhere. It was Mason who saw what was happening on his way to pick me up and fought off the bad guys. I was trembling with fear. He held me. Ellie, it's okay. It's okay. I was so scared my legs gave out. He knelt and carried me home on his back. Mason, thank goodness you're here. That day, I fainted from the shock, and I started bleeding. The doctor found out I was pregnant. Fortunately, the baby was saved. On the day of my child's 1-month celebration, I received a rare message from Julian. Alara, you win. You haven't contacted me in a year. What are you up to? Mason, holding the baby, snatched my phone and took a picture of our family of 3. He replied, in postpartum confinement. Julian's hand trembled as he zoomed in on the picture Mason had sent, looking at it over and over. Finally, he threw his phone from the second floor. Today was supposed to be his birthday party. Every year, Alara had been with him. This year, he found it incredibly boring, so he sent her a message, wanting to back down. And what did he get? Alara had a baby. She had a baby with that bastard Mason. He couldn't suppress his rage. He smashed everything at the birthday party Chloe had carefully planned for him, including everything in the house that could be broken. Anyone who tried to calm him down got a slap. Chloe probably thought she was an exception and was about to offer some comforting words. Julian slapped her so hard she tumbled down the stairs. Chloe, you're really something else. Alara is really married. She even has a child. And you made me wait for her to apologize to me. He went downstairs, pulled her up, and showed her the shattered phone on the floor. She had a baby with another man. He had lost control. Chloe, seeing the murderous look in his eyes, said, Julian, please don't be like this. I have depression. Julian slapped her again. If you have depression, then go die. You're just a menace to society. He immediately booked a flight out of the country and went to the airport. Actually, the day Alara left, he had been feeling uneasy, because in all these years, she had never packed a suitcase and said she was leaving him. He admitted, he was scared, but his pride, cultivated since childhood, wouldn't let him bend, so he had only backed down once, just before she left, telling her not to mind. She had not given him face and had left resolutely. An hour after she left, he was on pins and needles. He thought, maybe I should just go and find her. Chloe had said, Julian, are you spoiling her too much? She's throwing a tantrum just at a proposal. She wasn't like this when she was chasing you. I think she's just trying to push her luck, to control you. Julian immediately frowned. He loved his freedom. No one had the right to control him. He thought of another way to get her back. He posted pictures of himself with Chloe on his social media. He wanted to make her jealous, to make her come back and apologize, but she didn't. She didn't send him a single punctuation mark. Alara, who used to bombard him with messages, was now as silent as the grave. He didn't even know if she had seen them. He was afraid she wasn't looking at his feed, so he even sent her private messages, but still got no reply. Half a month later, Alara was married. The groom was Mason. He was about to explode. In the past, when Mason had met him, he had asked for his name. Julian, what's it to you? That's all I need to know. And Mason had beaten him up. Before he left, he had said, if you're involved with someone else, don't keep another person on the hook. From then on, he and this Mason were enemies. Fortunately, when he mentioned him to Alara, her face had turned ugly, and she had said she hated him. He calmed down. He thought Alara must have been fed up with his cold shoulder, and she was too proud to apologize. So she found the person he hated the most to act with him. To make him feel a sense of crisis, he saw through her little trick and thought she was getting out of hand. Her competitive nature needed to be tamed. He stopped contacting her and instead would often meet up with Chloe to take pictures and post them. When Chloe wanted to be with him, he would immediately become impatient. I only asked you out for pictures. Last time, because of your depression, I gave in once. That was the last time. Don't get any other ideas. Chloe never understood why he would post about her on his social media but be so cold and distant in real life. She asked, are you still thinking about Alara? What's so good about her? He had said coldly, Chloe, you're crossing a line. The longer Alara was gone, the more Julian realized he loved her deeply. He had been so spoiled by her love that he had taken it for granted. He thought she would always be by his side, so he never paid attention to her good qualities. He kept posting pictures with Chloe, just waiting for the day Alara would say, Julian, I'm jealous. He never got it. In the end, what he got was the news of her and Mason's child's 1-month celebration. In this standoff, he had lost miserably. This was not the outcome he wanted. From the airport to the plane, Julian cried the whole way. The people around him thought he was strange. The flight attendant asked if he needed anything. He said, a box of tissues. He found Alara and Mason's address, wanting to win her back, but Mason had a dozen bodyguards following her every day. He had no chance of getting close. Every time he tried, he was beaten up. Finally, he was covered in injuries. He sent her a message. Alara, you really won't even say a word to me. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Can you come back? I'm in so much pain. I can't even see you. Why were you able to move on so quickly? Did you ever really love me? It doesn't matter. I love you. I really love you. Divorce Mason and marry me. Leave the child with him. We can have our own. You hate him, don't you? How could you marry him and have a child with him? The bracelet you made for me. I'm still wearing it. I didn't throw it away. I'll send you a picture. He frantically tried to prove himself. Took a picture, but it failed to send. He had been blocked. Finally, he collapsed on the ground and let out a painful roar. Why won't you give me a chance? Why? Losing her had crushed all his pride. He went back to his home country and got a divorce from Chloe, completely cutting ties with her. But it was too late. Alara would not forgive him. In the years that followed, Julian became a man of few words and cut ties with all the friends who had disapproved of Alara. He wore the bracelet she had made for him, and her matching one as well. He went to the mountain temple where they had prayed for their relationship. This time, he couldn't pray for a happy ending with her. He could only pray for her to have a peaceful and happy life. He would go abroad every week, just to see her from a distance, watching their family of 3, so happy together. In the 10th year, he couldn't go abroad to see her anymore. Because of his irregular work and lifestyle, with no one to take care of him, he fell ill. He was gone in just 3 short months. He was still wearing the bracelet she had made for him when he died. Alara, I'm so unwilling to let go. But what was the use of being unwilling? He had already lost her. When he died, Alara knew nothing, because from the moment she left him 10 years ago, she had stopped caring.